Good afternoon. In my empirical legal research, I study people without lawyers in state courts and the problem of access to civil justice. Much of my research involves statistical and econometric analysis of data extracted from court case management systems. But people who never make it to court are not captured in that data. Here in Illinois, the courts are valuable partners in working to improve access to justice for unrepresented litigants. But when people don't realize that they have a legal problem that the courts can help with, there is a disconnect between well-meaning efforts at civil court reform and people being able to assert their legal rights. I'm going to talk to you about a research project that I'm working on to elevate the stories of people impacted by both the criminal and civil legal systems through civil asset forfeiture. This project is part of a statewide collaborative effort to reform an unjust process that deprives people of resources that they need to support themselves and their families. Civil asset forfeiture is a process by which law enforcement seizes property that's alleged to be related to criminal activity. In Illinois, 2 state laws govern this process, one for drug-related criminal activity and another for other criminal violations like fleeing and evading the police. If law enforcement can show probable cause that property like a car or cash is either used in the commission of a crime or is the proceeds of a criminal act, then the law enforcement agency can permanently deprive the property owner of that property through forfeiture. A person need not be convicted of a crime to permanently lose their property. However, in drug-related crimes, this process doesn't even go through the court system unless property owners affirmatively initiate the legal process by filing a claim with the state's attorney's office. I work with a coalition of community-based organizations that are working to reform and hopefully abolish civil asset forfeiture. Led by Chicago Appleseed Center for Fair Courts, the coalition passed a data collection bill last year to learn more about how widespread forfeiture is in Illinois. With funding from the UIC Institute for Research on Race and Public Policy, I'm conducting a qualitative research project to collect the stories of people, families, and communities impacted by forfeiture. Last year, students in my Access to Justice and Legal Technology class created a legal technology chatbot for people to understand forfeiture and assert their rights when their property is seized. I'm also on the Administrative Office of the Illinois Courts Forms Subcommittee, and we're revising forms for use for people without lawyers. Civil asset forfeiture results in over $8 million in assets seized and forfeited from communities in Chicago alone every year, with forfeitures resulting in a disparate impact on communities that are subject to over-policing. Through this research, we are learning more about the impacts of this unjust practice on vulnerable communities, and we're building a data set to work on further legislative and policy change, as well as help people assert their rights and navigate the legal system. Thank you.